succinct and concise.
Oh.
I respect that. And it's an honor to be here. So thank you first to the national chapter of the AGCRA Regional Association. It is a tremendous honor to be here with you tonight to serve as your 62nd Adjutant General. So now that the Commandant put the weight of the world, you know, I hope I have a good speech. But really tonight is about our Corps. I think it's important that I say congratulations to the new members, our Hall of Fame members, and our distinguished members of the Corps. And if you were able to see the ceremony, we give Colonel Marcus Motley a lot of grief sometimes, but what a phenomenal job the schoolhouse and the Commandant did this morning in recognizing those individuals. And I will tell you, if you were there, I don't know if Miss Kelly is here tonight, but I will tell you, between her, the sergeants majors, and the chiefs that were inducted into the Hall of Fame, I'm not really sure I'm worthy to speak tonight because they were absolutely phenomenal. But I do want to recognize Miss Terry Mott. Thank you for being with us. Fellow GOs, Sergeant Majors, Command Sergeant Majors, the Warrant Officer Mafia. Yeah, I think between getting like an AG shield or a Warrant Officer crest, that might be my first tattoo. I mean, I might as well go for it. But in all seriousness, thank you to the band, thank you to the chapter, thank you to the ball committee. I appreciate what you're doing tonight. I'm excited to be here with you tonight. It's one night. Set aside our worries. Set aside the problems of the nation, our nation, other nations, and really concentrate on us, our Corps. Time to fellowship, time to celebrate, time to reminisce with old friends, recharge, and when we leave tonight, hopefully your cup is full, ready to lean into the future, and with your shields held high. Can I get a shields up?
Defending sir.
You are the professionals that make a difference every single day. And for all the thank yous that you don't get, for all the things that you do behind the scenes, thank you. I truly thank you for what you do and your impact to readiness. So tonight, I really want to have a conversation with you. I want to have a conversation about the Corps. I want to have a conversation about what it means to be all things people and what I think our tipping point is. Since 1775, the Adjutant General Corps soldiers have been sustaining our #1 resource, people. It's a fad in the last couple of years in a strategy. It hasn't been a fad to us. It has been our #1 source of the Army's overmatch capabilities since 1775. And so the Corps of the future depends on you, and that future force needs you in the future. So officers, NCOs, and HR professionals of the future, we need to be critical thinkers, detail-oriented, change agents, able to analyze, not just analyze, but able to use that data and say, what does it say and what does it predict? And as we focus on it, we move on from an industrial age to an informational age Army. We're focused on talent management, systems transformation to IPSA. And like the Commandant, can I get an IPSA? We right here are at the heart of building the future Army, for you cannot do it without people. This is our time. You can either be a change agent or watch the change go by you. To me, I think it's our ex-eval. How many of you are doing time, getting muddy boots in the field right now, and you know exactly what an ex-eval is? And I'm telling you, it's our ex-eval right now. And our graded events are how do we get to yes, how do we adapt policies, how do we get to data accuracy, how do we remain persistent, and how do I keep an all-in attitude as we lean into the future with the mindset of winning. And we only win as a team. We, this squad, looks like a lot of people in the room, right? But it's just a small portion of the HR professionals that are leading squads that are changing the way we support soldiers today, tomorrow, and into the future. Winning's not easy. But on the good and the bad days, we're a family. You remember the commandant said this morning, you don't like someone, get over it? And it's a new way of, in the South, where we say, bless your heart. He now says, you just say, defend it, sir. But this sense of family that permeates across every Army squad, unit, and organization, it's a family that has responsibilities. We have disagreements, tough love, but it's a family that's willing to lay one's life down for one another. This is the family that can face any challenge as a team. And so our team of HR professionals needs to stand ready in the face of our challenges, and part of keeping that squad strong and leading those from the front line is supporting one another. Take a look to your left and right. No, really, it's not just a line in a speech. Those soldiers, DA civilians, officers, NCOs, warrant officers, they're a small part of our squad, and I challenge you to be all in for our squad goals. Be ready to lean forward in readiness, transformation, and have empathetic leadership. It starts at the squad level, and how we support and treat one another affects how we support and treat others. At a minimum, I think you owe it to two very important people. Number one, that soldier that is depending on you. And number two, that person that is looking back at you in the mirror. So how do we impact all things people? In our new strategy, we recognize up front that we're serving in a dynamic time and in an environment of significant technological advances, modernization, and emerging threats. Yet despite these advancements, people have not stopped being the driving force behind the Army's ability to fight and win our nation's wars. And the AGCRA is charged with facilitating our people's care, innovative management, talent management, and soldier support. So how do we remain relevant? Chief of the Corps, he doesn't like the word relevant. I get it. We've been relevant for almost 250 years, and nothing's going to change that. So how do you remain credible? Credible in the face of our challenges. Simple answer is, we change. We must modernize both in thought and in practice. Now, not limited to current policy and regulation. We have to be creative, we have to be adaptive, we have to meet emerging requirements without having 6 months to think about it. We have to change our internal approach to the Corps and adapt and support how we support not only at the enterprise level and below. We recognize that how we measure success today is not how we measure success in the future. The AGCRA will develop new strategic HR capabilities to support an Army that is talent management focused, modernized, focused on enterprise transformation, led by forward-thinking professionals. We have to expand our horizons, our competencies, and how we measure internal success across our Corps. So I mentioned tipping point. I really do think we're at a tipping point for the Corps. As in the past, we've adjusted for change. You know, Colonel Manning mentioned SIDPER's tax boxes, etching in stone, dimers, other changes, email code, 180 plus legacy systems or applications as we move to one system. But the future calls for not just the evolution of processes or a change in systems, but I really think it calls for revolutionary change. Not only business processes, but in our mindset, in our knowledge, in our skills, and our behaviors. Moving from systems focused to data element focused. To find ourselves in a different place, a credible place in the future force, takes not words, but our words, our actions, our leadership. You know, yesterday we had a panel on the state of the Corps, where we've been, where we're going, and most importantly, what we have in mind for the future. This tipping point for our Corps is a paradigm shift, a challenge to the old set of rules, a challenge to what you're comfortable with, and a revolutionary change to sustain the Corps for the Army of 2030 and beyond. So if you've not done so already, I'll stomp my foot again. Read the AGCRA strategy. Be prepared for the future. Be excited for those future implementation plans and know where we're going and where we're headed in the future. And get comfortable with what we talk about as far as values and capabilities. So, was that a timer on a phone? Dang. I'm sorry. I got fired up, so if you could set it for another 5 minutes, okay? Yeah, thank you, son. I appreciate that. Woo! You know, change isn't easy. And I'm asking you to take a leap of faith. Take a leap of faith. It's going to take the ability to envision a future, even without knowing or understanding all of our future capabilities. Think about it. Everyone who's done say training and people are frustrated, like, I need to see more of it because I don't understand it. Imagine not even having HR Pro, Release 3 training, T3. Imagine the future and envision. A bold vision is possible and necessary. And really, I liken it to a tipping point. It reminded me of President Kennedy's speech at Rice University. And he talked about, we're going to put a man on the moon. He didn't know. But I will tell you, in vivid detail, he described how we would get there, what we would see, and the commitment it would take from a nation to do all that, to do it right, and to do it first. Kennedy said, we choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon in a decade and do the other things, not because they're easy, but because they're hard. Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best of our energies and skills. Because that challenge is one that we are willing to accept, one that we are unwilling to postpone, and one in which we intend to win. Similarly, we have to be bold, we have to change, make the right change, and remain agile. We are on our way with the first core strategy, the first of its kind for any branch. Our vision is big. Big in that the AGCRA is the Army's most innovative, expert, agile, and authentic HR professionals. One in which I see a group of professionals that are dynamically charting the face and the direction for HR change across the human capital enterprise. So with the looming changes and everyday challenges, I continuously get asked, what keeps you up at night? And you might think in my current job, it's casualties, system outages, postal's been fun lately. And while that all weighs on me, I repeatedly think, are we good enough? Are we good enough and are we fast enough? Are we agile? Can we continue to provide ways to get to guests and commanders, soldiers, and Army senior leaders? And part of being good enough reminds me of Sparta. I like to talk about the Spartan Army because they were successful for 2 key reasons. It repeatedly produced good soldiers, and they always fought as a team. See, the formation was only at its best when it was in the phalanx formation. And if you're not familiar with that formation, it's when soldiers are intertwined, defensible from all sides. Shields are up, advancing towards the enemy, and they were good enough as a team. Not only did a shield protect the user, but it protected the entire formation because they were together. I challenge you to keep your shield up, work together, and ensure our Corps is good enough and fast enough with whatever the challenges lie ahead. And so as this Army enters a new era, and we're focused on Army 2030 and beyond, building that fighting force, our shields will remain relevant or credible. When the Corps members are informed, we're technically competent, we understand our left and right limit, and we know how to lead under our commander's intent. So I challenge you, continue to build this great Corps, not only of today, but of the future. Hold our shields high. We need you in the fight. You all have a position in our phalanx formation. Officers, warrant officers, NCOs, soldiers, and TA civilians. And so we talk about Army 23, but change starts today. And as Arthur Ashe says, start where you are, use what you have, do what you can. So I'd like to close with a couple of strengths that I think is important, not only to the Corps, but all senior leaders. Competence. For a couple of you, for some of you, you spent the last couple of days here at the Soldier Support Institute, giving back to the institute that is building our foundation. Know our business, continue to be a student of our profession. Confidence. Step up, take the lead, demonstrate. If you're not invited to the table, I just take a seat. Yeah, don't wait for an invite. Do not wait for an invite, so lean into it. Compassion, care for soldiers. We talk a lot about empathy, but I think empathy is compassion in action. Take care of one another as a community. As a community, build relationships. It's a small army. I'm so very grateful to, in this room, people that I've known since I was a lieutenant or a captain. Believe me, they're surprised I'm here too. But in all seriousness, it's a small army. Take care of each other and foster those relationships. And lastly, character. It really is a choice. It's a choice when no one else is watching. I ask you to keep the humility and authenticity. Thank you so much for the opportunity to share in tonight's celebration. I'm deeply honored and I appreciate it. People first, winning matters, defend and serve. Shields up.